tonight, I am here to tell you, you are going to want to take your phone and you're going to want to very quickly pull it out and text this meeting to at least 5 more people. So everybody grab your phones right now. This is what millionaires do. Millionaires respond quickly, right? And I want you to copy and paste. I'm going to do it with you. Look at, I will never, ever ask you, Scott, and I will never ask you to do something that we're not willing to do ourselves. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm just going to simply go here, boom, hit it. I'm going to do, I got 4 more left. Are you guys doing this with me? So you got just a minute. It'll take a minute to text 5 people. I'm copying and pasting the link, copy and pasting the link. So if people don't know, who's going to tell them? Are you their leader? So I always say, if you're faithful with a little, God will give you more. So you got to be faithful with a little, right, guys? How many are you up to? We should have just done a 60-second contest to see who could get the most done in 60 seconds. Some of you probably could text 20. You know who you are. Are you still texting? I'm still texting. Let's go.
Just at 7, Renita. I'm at 7.
You better hurry up. I'm trying to beat you. Hang on a second. Hang on. I'm going. I'm at 7 right now.
Copy, paste, duplicate.
Copy, paste, duplicate. If you guys have not figured this out, it is go time, my friends. Copy, paste, duplicate. Copy, paste, duplicate. I don't know who these 5 are, but they're all called LifeWave babes, and I texted them today, so we're hitting them with it. Copy, paste, duplicate. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. How many did you guys get done?
8.
I had to sit. One of them I had, I think, 7 in there. I think I got about 25.
I got 9.
Woo! Come on.
So.
Do you see what focused energy can do, my friends? Do you see this? This is so powerful. So this is going to be a great night. This is going to be a great billionaire mindset tonight. I've got much to share with you. We are just rocking and rolling. Hey, thanks for all your prayers for my mama. That's a whole nother story. I can't even get into that tonight because it's been a wild adventure at the hospital. Good, fantastic things have happened, and really shoddy things have happened. So we're not going to get into any of that tonight. I said to Scott, it solidifies my belief that all of us need to take back our power with our health. If we're relying on the medical system, we're screwed. Let me just say it plainly to you. So we cannot be reliant on that system. It's necessary for crisis care. But outside of that, we must take control with our health, with our exercise, with our nutrition, with our patches, with regenerative medicine, with all of the above, right? So if you're on here tonight and you've considered starting, start is my advice to you, because I tell you what, witnessing what I've witnessed, I just know it's so crucial that all of us take extreme care of ourselves. I said to Scott, you know, when something like that happens, I'm not going to be less obsessed with health. You thought I was something before. I just doubled down. Now I'm 1,000 times more obsessed with health. Because after you live through and go through things with your aging parents or family members that might be ill, I tell you what, it solidifies your belief that you've got to take back your power with your health. And the patches, we know, you guys, are an awesome way to do that. What I love about it, you know, when they're in the hospital setting, you can't even give somebody a vitamin D or a magnesium because they're like, it has to run through doctor's orders. But guess what doesn't have to run through doctor's orders? Patches. So we are patching like crazy. And I'm just not going to lie. I have snuck in some supplements. I believe I'll apologize later if they catch me. So anyway, at the end of the day, God is good. God is faithful. And Mom is on the mend. Mom is healing. Her surgery went excellent yesterday. It was supposed to take 2 hours. It only took 43 minutes. So there you go. She is doing amazing. Little recovery in the hospital. The biggest thing we're dealing with right now is detoxing from that anesthesia, which is pretty wild. Anyway, so that's a whole nother topic. I want to talk about you guys making money. Who's here tonight to learn about how to make money? This is Billionaire Mindset. So if you came tonight and said, I thought I was going to learn about the product. Nope, this is not a product meeting tonight. Hop on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and that's a lot of product. But tonight we're here to talk about how to make money. Okay, say, I'm here to make money. Just say it out loud. I'm here to make money. Yeah, you can say it out loud. I'm here to make money, right? I want to learn to make money. And, you know, something that I think I probably do best is I learn and then I teach. I learn, then I teach. I am not a perfectionist. How many of you guys know I'm not a perfectionist? I mean, I've got 14 irons in the fire at once. My hair looks kind of rough right now, grown it out, but I am not a perfectionist. I believe getting it done and completed is better than getting it perfect, right? Because a lot of people, it'll stalemate them. How many of you know overanalysis leads to paralysis? If you have to get something just perfect, it never ends up getting done, or it's severely delayed. Who knows that? If it has to be perfect, it's severely, severely delayed. And what I've realized about network marketing is, you know, this is copy, paste, duplicate. This is the business of duplication so that you can multiply. Remember, you've got to duplicate to multiply. So hopefully by now you guys have access to all of our fabulous websites. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on This Is It Info and thisisitteam.com, but that is our team. And that is the team of winners. Okay, so if you like winning, raise your hand. Thank God you're on the right team, because this team came in 2 years and 9 months ago and has created nearly 300 senior presidential directors, and many of them are elites now. So we're talking people, I mean, senior presidential directors, they can earn, you know, the average is like $1.2 million a year. We got a lot of people earning maybe a little below that, maybe that, and a lot of people earning a lot more than that. So this team came in with a 20-year-old company, think about you guys, and they literally, boom, came in, taught the system, help people to duplicate so their businesses could multiply. So we have huge thanks and gratitude for Steve and Gina Merritt. Keep Steve in your prayers as well. He lost his mom last week. Lots of tough stuff going on. Here's the thing. Good and bad are always happening at the same time. How many of you realize that? I mean, if you're waiting for the perfect moment and for life to be easy to do this, good luck. Because just when I think we got it mastered, bam, something happens, right? So you've got to learn. I feel like this is kind of a boxing match. You got to learn to duck and bob and weave and pack that punch when you've got the minute, right? So a little bit of with network marketing is like, get on those Zoom meetings when you can, get on the trainings when you can, right? And you're going to find gold nuggets in some of those trainings that you watch. Maybe you're going to This Is It Team. The Saturday training is phenomenal. It's on every single Saturday at noon Central Time, and it is gold nuggets being released. If you've never watched those, it tells me you've never been over to This Is It Team on YouTube. Jot this down. Your pen should be like a fire starter right now, guys. I'm going to give you all the nuggets, but you got to be the one to write them down. So This Is It Info, all the health information. This Is It Team is the business duplication. And of course, This Is It Team on YouTube is where you can find all of, I mean, literally hundreds of videos, okay, on the business, on the product. You've got doctors giving them, you've got lawyers giving them, you've got lay people giving them, right? You've got moms giving these presentations. I mean, it's everybody. So hopefully you know those websites by now. I'm not coming tonight to tell you those websites, okay? Because hopefully by now, if you're part of This Is It Team, you guys know we are #1 in the world. So for those of you that didn't catch the memo last week, LifeWave was named with the Bravo Award for the second year in a row. So the Bravo Award is the #1 award given for the most massive growth in direct sales globally. So think about this, guys. There's thousands of companies globally, right? They award a company that has the most massive growth over a 4-year stretch. Well, LifeWave won it last year. We had 3,000% growth. Guess who won it again this year? Woo! LifeWave, year 2 for 4 years of hand over fist growth, guys. In addition to that, our founder and CEO, David Schmidt, was awarded Innovator of the Year. Now, David has said this, if we are not innovating, the reason all of the other network marketing companies are crumbling is why? They're not innovating. You know, they're still just selling essential oils, or they're still just selling a weight loss product, or they're still just selling, you know, a nutrition shake. Listen, I can buy nutrition anywhere. I can buy good supplements anywhere. I'll just be honest, I can. I mean, have you heard of Google? Like, I mean, there are thousands of places to buy it, right? And so bottom line is there is only one LifeWave. There's only one LifeWave with over 201 patents in regenerative medicine. That's our founder, David Schmidt, 201 patents in regenerative medicine. Okay. I know some smart people. I met a guy once that had 6. Okay. He's probably on the Zoom. The guy's super sharp. Brilliant. Who gets 201 patents, right? That's David Schmidt, our founder and CEO. Over 101 clinical studies, guys. So no one can duplicate what we have. You have to understand that the proprietary science of this patch is what makes us extraordinary. We cannot be duplicated. You guys understand that, right? So we're not like everything else. And like David Schmidt said, if these companies are not innovating, they're failing. Why? There's too many offerings in the marketplace now with the internet. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of great options. Are you guys with me? By the way, did you guys all hear what LifeWave did? Because some people were selling patches on Amazon, right? Did you guys know this? If that's you, you better get that website down tonight. Because if not, when they find out it's you, your account is canceled, terminated. You're not getting a second chance. Okay. So those people that were selling on Amazon, done. What LifeWave decided to do, get this, what LifeWave decided to do is go in there and become the dominant seller on Amazon of LifeWave patches.
Yeah.
So as soon as they decided to do that, guess what happened to all of those other rickety dicks? They are gone. Okay, because the real LifeWave, please stand up. And they stood up. And now guess what they're doing? They're not just going to sell them on Amazon. They're selling them for full retail plus 15%. So this is how they solve the problem. You talk about genius. They're going to be the dominant seller, the only seller, because all the other ones that are the imitators are going to be gone. LifeWave Corporate's going to be there. They're going to be selling 4 product offerings, and they're going to be selling it for 15% over retail. How do you guys like those apples? Is anyone going to, in their right mind, going to buy on Amazon if they talk to you and you told them you could help them at wholesale? They shouldn't if you've done your part, right? And LifeWave is so amazing that if somebody that you've been talking to accidentally goes to Amazon and makes that purchase because they thought they should buy them there, you call corporate the next day and say, oh my gosh, I've been working with that person. I found out last night they accidentally bought on Amazon, and they will automatically credit your account with that person. This is the company that we work with. Isn't this fabulous? Genius. I think it's all genius. I love it. Okay. So that's kind of a little bookkeeping I wanted to talk about, but we're talking about how to make money tonight. And the interesting thing is we've been homeschooling. We've been on the road. We've been to Utah. We've been to South Dakota. We've been at the hospital a lot. We've been all over, but our boys have been reading, of course, the book, you see it? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So we've been on the road reading a lot of that. We've also been reading this book called Fake by Robert Kiyosaki. Wow. This is like a jab uppercut. It talks about how lies are making the poor and middle class poorer, fake money, fake teachers, and fake assets. Amazing book, but it really got me thinking. And Scott and I have always, we believe in generational health and wealth. And you'll hear David speaking this language as well. We were on the SPD meeting this week, and David said, this is a generational health and wealth opportunity. He's using that language. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be part of generational health and wealth? Raise your hand if you'd like to be part of that.
Oh,
So have our hands on. We're not over here just selling patches. I want you guys to know this. You are building a lifestyle. You're building a life. I don't just build businesses. I help people build their lives, right? Because how many of you know when people have their health, they get their lives back? Raise your hand if you know when people get their health back, they get their lives back. How many of you know when people have more money, they get their life back? Money is right up there with oxygen, man. Like Teresa Getz on here says, if you don't have enough, you're not breathing good. Okay. So at the end of the day, it's so important that we have both health and wealth. Now, it's so interesting because, I listen to a lot of personal development. I listen to a lot of This Is It team. I listen to a lot of Steve and Gina. I mean, I love the leadership. I love the variety of leadership that we have with This Is It team. They're incredible. All of these leaders, each of them bring a little different dynamic to the table. Here's what I want to tell you guys. You should all be taking the gold nuggets from the trainings, right? There might be things you don't like. There's always going to be things that we don't like in this world. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, do you want to voice more of the gold, or do you want to voice more of the crap? Okay. So you have to ask yourself that, because when you start voicing more gold, guess what you get more of? Gold. Okay. It's like a spiritual nature. When you voice good things, you get good things in return. What I've realized after reading this book, Fake, because we homeschool our boys and we don't use any traditional curriculum. People say, what do you use for curriculum? Listen, we don't use any traditional curriculum. The first year, we had them took the curriculum from school, and then we said, why are we using that curriculum? They're teaching transgender stuff. That's not our belief system, right? So very quickly, we eliminated that school curriculum because we were at home and using that curriculum. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't like anything they're being taught. And so then we kind of went and picked a Christian curriculum. We did this, bits and pieces. And then what I realized is most of it is a memory game. And let me just give you a great example. Let me just give you a great example. We've got a friend of ours who goes to a private school. They're fairly wealthy family. And how many of you know that with the school systems and college systems, most of these students are using AI to generate their papers? How many of you know that? Raise your hand if you know that. Okay. And like Bo said to me, even the good kids, mom. That's what Bo said when he was in college. Even the good ones, mom. Even the goody two shoes, mom. Even those guys are using the AI. Okay. So it's not just like the kids that didn't get their homework done and are like using the AI. Like the good ones are using AI, right? Are you with me? And so it's been very interesting. Just we're around different kids in our with our family that are in the college system, and we're hearing different things about AI, right? Well, in the meantime, I've got a friend who's they're a wealthier family, and their kid, and most colleges, by the way, are very anti-AI. How many of you know that? Colleges hate AI. The teachers hate AI. If you write a paper and they bust you with AI, you're busted type deal, right? And but how many of you know that AI is really quite remarkable if used correctly and for good things? Like here's the thing with David Schmidt, he's realized that we have to embrace AI to take this company to $1 billion, and the companies that don't are going to be left behind, period. Okay, that's what's happening in network marketing right now. And so he's just really embracing AI. And so, but not in a weird way. I want you guys to know that, because David Schmidt, when you get to know him, he loves the Lord Jesus. He loves God. He gives honor and glory to our King. But along with that, I mean, he's a nature guy, but he's a scientist, right? So he's integrating like these fundamentals of both. Anyway, back to my friend, the wealthy family, their son goes to the school. What they do with their kids at the school is they have all of the kids use AI to write their papers. So let's say I tell you to write a paper on, I don't know, money, right? Saving, whatever. And like all of a sudden, like all these kids come to the table with their papers, and the papers are all written by AI. So each kid brings, and instead of saying you're in trouble because you use AI, because that's what the school system has taught. The school system has taught if you're caught cheating, you're out. Well, should I tell you what the biggest thing in my business is? Collaboration. I am not as smart as everybody in the room. We need everybody on the team that wants to win. Are you guys with me on this? So this is in network marketing. It's like the opposite of school, where they said, oh, it's only you. I don't care if you get the answers right or wrong. It's a memory game and you better get them right. If not, you're going to get an F, right? This school is having all these kids come to the table collaboratively that have used AI to write their paper on whatever the subject or topic is. And then each kid reads the paper, and then the students discuss the differences. All of the students are discussing the differences. They're all reading the papers on the same topic, written in different ways with AI, and then they're discussing it. Now, do you think that that student is going to do better or worse than the student that is sitting behind the scenes, scared that they're going to get something right or wrong because they're all independent? They have to act alone. Do not talk to your neighbor. Do not discuss that, right? What child would you bet on to become an entrepreneur and save the planet? I'm just saying, when I'm reading this, I'm like, the whole freaking system is rigged, okay? Because I don't know, have any of you diagrammed a sentence since you learned about diagramming a sentence in school? I said to Scott, what does diagramming a sentence mean? I don't even know what that means. That's how tells you how often I used it since the 4th grade. I never used it. Okay, have any of you guys diagrammed a sentence? Can any of you tell me what that means without Googling it? I'm like, I said to Scott, what's diagramming a sentence?
Someone said the same thing with you, with my kids. When that came up in the classes, I was like, how do we do this? And then I ended up putting them in a school that was Christian based, where they were taught how to do that. And then they would bring it to me and say, Mom, how do you do this? And I'm like, that's retarded. I have no idea. Like, just talk, just write, why do you have to diagram?
Communicate. The world is networking, right? The world, how we're going to grow one another. Like I said, those kids that are sitting in the group hearing every student's paper, do you think that person's going to learn more than the person that wrote their paper all by themselves over here? They just listen to 17 different students talk about money. These guys got a fighting chance. This one over here is screwed. You see what I'm saying? So we've got to get more in this collaboration mindset. So I said to Scott, what is Kathy Hutchinson, thank God you're smart. And I'm not negating great teachers. Listen, I'm in the hospital setting right now. There are great doctors and there are great nurses. There are great teachers in the school system, and there are poor ones. Let me just say you, okay? I'm not calling the actual person good or bad. The system as a whole is designed to fail us. It's not designed to raise up entrepreneurs. Would you guys agree? You know how your kids come out of high school and they don't know how to balance checkbooks or pay taxes or make money or become an entrepreneur, right? They're supposed to fit in that box of getting a job, working 40 hours a week for somebody else for 40 years to hopefully get 40% of their retirement. Are you guys with me? And now and so much so that you're kind of set on a pedestal. If you go to college, and I'm not saying college is a bad thing, you got to remember, I got my bachelor's degree and I went back to school to get my doctorate. So I'm not anti-education or wisdom. You probably are not going to meet a person who reads, maybe Brian Sorrell, Doc Sorrell probably reads as much as I do, but read. I mean, I've got 4 books on my table at all times, right? So I'm not anti-learning. I'm not anti-knowledge, and I'm not anti-applied knowledge, which is wisdom. What I am anti of it all is them telling you that it could only be done this way. It's crazy to me. I don't like that. So bottom line is I'm just going to say, I haven't diagrammed a sentence. I didn't know what that was, Kathy Hutchinson. Thank God you're brilliant. I said to Scott, what does diagramming a sentence mean? He told me. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The interesting thing is this is from the get-go. They've not really trained us to have this more expansive entrepreneur, millionaire, or now billionaire mindset. Did any of you enter LifeWave with a millionaire mindset already? And if you did, praise Jesus, okay? Because that's uncommon. Most people don't have that. I know I didn't have it. I was raised on a farm, pill feeding calves, manuring barns, putting my work clothes on when I got home from school, right? Like, guys, I mean, it wasn't like I was raised in some extraordinary wealth, but I decided that I was going to be the chain breaker for generational health and generational wealth. Scott and I decided this. Now, listen, I want to get to why do people just not go do this? How come you see some people that join LifeWave and they just take it to the top and it's just like almost effortless for them. And then you see other people that they struggle and they struggle and they struggle and they're still like maybe not manager. And I'm not demeaning you. I'm just saying you're not manager. Maybe you've been here 2 years and you're not manager yet. And so my question is, why not? Like, I've always been the person who wonders, like, why does one person have success and not the other, right? Because God granted us all equalness, right? We're all equal, right? God is no respecter of persons. He honors us all the same. He loves us all the same. I mean, I might tell you that I'm on God's refrigerator. I'm like one of his favorites. I actually believe that about myself. You think it's funny? I think it's true. Okay. Now, I'm not kidding. I am one of his favorites. But anyway, but what I've realized is before we go into something, it's interesting how we assign a level of difficulty to something before we even do it. Now, let me explain that. How many of you say, well, I don't know if I can go SPD. That just seems like such a far-fetched goal, and it's going to be so hard, right? Do you think you thinking like that is going to have any effect on the outcome?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And part of this is we've been trained in a way to determine if things are hard or easy before we approach them. I can't lose weight. It's just so hard. I just can't eat like that. I can't commit to exercise. It's just so hard, right? Do you see how we're assigning a level of difficulty to something before we've even done it? You know, I realized this with my mom. I don't know what's going to happen from day to day. We're in the hospital and I, you know, they come in and they're like, do you want to put her to a swing bed? Because she's only 50% weight bearing. And I'm like, no way, Jose, she's getting home, because I hit the call button in the hospital and sometimes they don't come for 45 minutes and that's the hospital. Okay. They're understaffed. Okay. To say it plainly. So I realized with my brothers, I said, you know what? We're just going to walk this thing out. I'm not going to anticipate anything's going to be hard or easy. We're just going to walk it out. I mean, it completely I went from stress, like, what are we going to do here? Crazy, to, you know what? We're going to walk this out. I believe I have the favor of God leading me. I believe my mom has the favor of God in her life. We believe God is for us. We're just going to walk it out. And I'll tell you, it just took away all my stress. And I thought, how many people assign a level of difficulty to something before they even begin? And it's probably hindering you. I'm just going to say. Now, I remember when we started, and I remember that we were 6 weeks in, and I remember that we were at 140,000 points 6 weeks in. Excuse me. Maybe we were 4 weeks in, 140,000 points. All I know is I came home from convention and I had 15 days and I needed 60,000 extra points to hit SPD. Okay. So I didn't come home and think, oh my gosh, how am I going to get 60,000 points? No one wants to do this. No one's talking to me. I came home And I thought to myself, 60,000 points is easy. Like I literally said that out loud. 60,000 points is easy. That's nothing. Going to war is hard. Working 40 hours, 50, 60 hours a week for someone you don't like, that's hard. Finding an extra 60,000 points, I just got to get to work. They're all there. All the people that want to consume this patch already or exist in the world. I just got to go tell them, right? And I need to get my team to help telling them. So what I realize is some people say, Renita, and this is what people do. This is the never-ending quest for knowledge that you think there's a magic bullet to doing this business. Some of you think if I just get that one tip, then I'm going to do it. If I just, what is the secret? What is it? They're getting on the next meeting for the secret. Right? Is this you? Listen, I want you guys to know that the secret is just doing it and committing. And we're going to get to that in a second. But I wrote this down. I said, you don't have to know how to do something before you do it. Okay? Let me say that again. You don't have to know how to do something before you do it. And you're thinking, what? Well, listen, a lot of you know how to do a lot of stuff in your life, and are you getting it done? A lot of you know how to lose weight. Are you the perfect weight? A lot of you know how to exercise. Are you exercising like a banshee? I mean, all of you, I think, have been in probably plenty of Zoom meetings, so you know how to grow this business, right? But do you think you actually have to know something in order for you to do? I have to know exactly this before I do it. If that's the case, then your life outside of LifeWave, everything else, all the things you know, it should be perfect. Are you applying those things? Some things you know an awful lot about. Are you getting what I'm saying? Is everybody here with me? So you don't have to know it all to begin, but you have to begin so that you can know it all, right? You have to begin. You have to just start. Yeah, many things you know. Some of you are an expert in things and you're not doing them anyway. Oh, me too. It's not just you, right? This is true, right? Are you getting what I'm saying? Like some people think it's this magic answer, this magic bullet, or this magic video, or this magic person. No, you're the magic. It's all in you, baby. You got the magic. God gave it to you. So then you're thinking to yourself, okay, I shouldn't be talking. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard for me to get to executive director. What? Again, you're not out digging ditches. You're not in the Marines here. Like, this is not hard. We're not marching off to war. Honestly, this is simple. Say it out loud. This is a simple business. Say it. This is a simple business. It's a simple business. And the simplicity of it makes it so easy for those of us like me to take it to the top. And the simplicity of it makes it also easy for people not to do. Because it's almost too simple. They want the magic bullet. Oh, did you listen to this one doctor? I'm like, listen, that's not the magic, guys. Guess what the magic is?
Just doing it.
Deciding to do it. Deciding to do it. Let me say that again. That's the magic. And I'm going to tell you something. A decision is different than choosing. How many of you know that a decision is different than choosing? Because choosing is like, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to choose which one I want to do, right? Choosing, you're picking one. But a decision, there's no changing of the mind. In fact, in airplanes, they call it the point of no return. Have you ever been on an airplane? And they got to go so fast, and either they're going to lift off and take off, or they're going to crash. And what do? They take off, right? That's the point of no return, right? By the way, you don't creep up to the point of no return. Have you ever seen an airplane creeping up to the point of no return? You gotta get with me. It's creeping up to the point of no return. Okay? It just doesn't happen. The airplane doesn't take off, right, guys? So what I'm saying is, do you have enough momentum? Do you have enough speed? Do you have enough energy to say, you know what? I'm going to make $1 million with this thing. And again, be careful, because if you've never made $1 million in anything before, then you have that limited belief. How many of you have a limited belief where you're anchoring your revenue to time? Any of you anchoring your revenue to time? Well, I've never made more than $40,000 a year. I've never made more than $23 an hour, right? Are you getting what I'm saying? We have been trained by this botched job system
Yeah.
to anchor our money and our revenue to time. Have you ever thought of this? This is crazy when you wrap your mind around this concept. How many of you right now are still anchoring your revenue to time? Raise your hand. Just be honest. I'm not here to shame you. I just want to know, are you still anchoring your revenue? Because what happens is when you step into this realm of the commitment and the unlimited, right? The flow, the abundance of the kingdom of heaven on earth, you don't do that anymore. You just think generational wealth. Let's talk 7 figures. Let's talk 8 figures. Let's talk it all, right? And if some of you, that makes you uncomfortable for me to even say that, that's a whole nother discussion. We'll get to that another night. But tonight, what we're talking about is, I mean, the bottom line is this is kind of a 5th grade mentality. I'm like, we have to commit. We have to stop anchoring our revenue to a certain time. We have to snip that off, because what Scott and I realized many years ago, we read the book by T. Harv Eker, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. And what we realized about that is we all like had a financial blueprint or a financial set point, kind of, right? And usually your financial set point, if you earn what your parents earned, only let's say $10,000 or $15,000 higher, you kind of think you've arrived. Well, I'm earning more than my mom and dad earned, right? I'm earning more than my parents, right? Do you guys know that all of us kind of have a financial DNA? Are you aware of that? True story. And so when we realized, Scott and I realized this when we were really young. So we were like thrilled when we were making like more than our parents, right? Oh man, we've arrived, right? Like it was like a big deal, but that was our financial blueprint. That was our financial DNA. That was kind of how we've been programmed. So remember how I've said, you got to brainwash yourself before the world brainwashes you. And some of you need a reprogramming. How many of you need a reprogramming? I needed a reprogramming when I entered LifeWave. I had never made $50,000 a week, $80,000 a week. What? We had never, ever even visualized making that kind of money when we started this business. Our financial IQ was like hard work, right? Effort. We love people. We're willing to do what it takes, and we're very committed. We're very, very committed. You know, some people make excuses. I commit and I get it done, right? Scott commits and we get it done. We just commit and go, right? So some people, they use their life as their excuse. We use our life as our reason, right? I left the hospital today. I drove to Planet Fitness. Not a sliver of my hair wanted to exercise. I've been kind of emotionally spent dealing with the hospital. And I said, get out of the car and get into the gym, Renita. It's your neural pattern. I simply opened the car door, walked into the gym. I didn't even take my coat off and put it in the locker because I thought I could turn around and go back to the car. I went directly to the area I was going to work out. And then only then did I take my jacket out, you know, because they got lockers for that stuff. I'm not stopping in the locker room. I couldn't run out of here. And so I literally just put it right there. I had my stack of my winter stuff sitting in the pile, and I'm like, let's go. Like, and just do, you commit and you go. It's just a neural pattern, right? And thank God that's a good neural pattern for me. Some of you might need to work on that one. But again, it comes down to the commitment. You can't assume in advance it's going to be so hard to lose weight. Maybe it's hard to lose weight because you keep talking so crazy like that. Maybe you need to stop that language. Your mouth is an energy. How many of you know that when you speak, your mouth is an energy? It's putting out energy frequencies, good or bad. Do you guys know that? I mean, before my mom went into surgery, we prayed, and I had her say, I am a healing machine. I am a healing machine. Over and over and over and over before she went into surgery. And when the doctor came out, he said, I've never seen anything like it. We put a steel rod through her femur, a bolt in this hip, a bolt on this thing, a bolt through the thing. And he goes, it took us 43 minutes. That averages 2 hours generally. Wow, that was incredible. It couldn't have gone any better, he said.
Praise God.
Yeah, right? Thank you, Jesus. And so, but we went into it with that anticipation, right? We didn't say, oh God, this is going to be hard. Right? There was no talking like that. It was all optimistic. Everything was positive. So my question tonight is, are you ready to stop anchoring your revenue to time? Because you're not going to be able to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a week if you still think you're worth $23 an hour.
That's
You
right.
get what I'm saying? So you have to uproot that limited belief. And so for some of you, maybe the most you ever made in a year is 150,000. That's good money, by the way. I'm not saying that that's bad. Okay. But we're here talking about the millionaire mindset and the billionaire mindset, right, guys? So we're trying to take you out of that 40, 50, 60, 100,000, $200,000 mindset and say, why not you to make the million? Right? So you have to be okay with that. I remember when I first started walking around the house saying, I am a millionaire. It made everybody in the environment, my boys, not Scott, it made my boys uncomfortable for a second. They're like, Mom, what are you saying? I said, I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire. I'm a money magnet. And they're like, why are you talking like that? Because I am. And I said it day in and day out and day in. And I wasn't just saying it sitting and watching the boob tube. I was saying it and getting my butt to work, making the calls, doing the Zooms, being consistent, being persistent. I was doing the work, right? I was doing the activity. So my activity aligned with the vision, right? And it aligned when I got my mindset right. It was inevitable that we were going to be a rocket ship, because the one missing component we had was that subconscious mind of actually anchoring our revenue to time. I said to Scott, what if we could make $1 million a day? I started talking like this now. You're probably thinking I'm just wild. I am. Trust me, I am. I am thinking, what if I make $1 million a day? I mean, why not me? I think I can do it. Why not? And so like, I'm walking around talking like that now. And it all kind of starts with this kind of like fun, upbeat attitude. Can you guys sense it when I even say it? Like, it's kind of this fun thing. It's not like an arrogant, like I'm rich. It's not like that. It's kind of like this thing, like, why not me? You know what I mean? Like, why not do this? Right, guys? So I want to, if you're going to really believe in the billionaire mindset of David Schmidt and the millionaire mindset, I have to ask you, we're going to have to strip off that anchoring from that time to the revenue, because if we really believe in unlimited wealth, that means that wealth that keeps on going once we're gone for generations to come. I don't think that's rooted to a dollar amount, to an hourly. Right? So any of that stuff that you had going on, it's almost like you got to uproot that now and say, hey, listen, that was the old me. The new me is unlimited wealth creation, right? The new me is 60,000 points in a week. How you like those apples, right? The new me, I'm going to get 4 managers this week, right? The new me, right? And you start professing that and prophesying that over yourself. Why not you? Listen, we've got the greatest technology on the planet. If you look at what's happening behind the curtain with these miracles, I mean, they're posted every single day. And you don't think that you believe, or you're like, I don't know, you don't belong here. I got news for you. Okay, this might not be for you. But if you've seen what I've seen, how many of you have seen what I've seen? And if not, you need to open your eyes and get behind the curtain to these Facebook groups to see what's going on, because it's miracle after miracle after miracle. This not only is miracle math that we have with the business model. Say it out loud. This is miracle math. This is not 40 hours a week, guys, for 23 bucks an hour. This is miracle math. Just like we have the miracles with the health that's happening, this is miracle math too, right? You got people that never made any money in network marketing in their life, and they're making 20 grand a week. What do you call that?
Wow.
I call it miracle math, right? And it's only because it's following course of the miracles that are happening with the health and the patches. Because if the patches were not creating incredible, extraordinary, life-changing, life-saving results, we wouldn't be making money. We wouldn't even have this billionaire mindset if we didn't have the patch. So when people say, I'm uncomfortable talking about the money, I'm not. I want to make $1 billion. I am a billionaire. You know why? That's how many people I desire to serve and help.
That's good.
Because your amount that you're earning is tied to the amount of people you're serving. Let me say that again. The amount you're earning is tied to the people you're serving. So if you're only helping a couple people right now, yeah, you're not making that much money. Maybe you're making a little bit, but guess what? It's a start. It's a start, right? And once you commit and start doing some of these things that we're talking about, yeah, like I need to disassociate that money with an hourly thing, because why not? You know, one day I had this thought. I was walking around the house and I thought, I mean, is it true? Is it false? In heaven, are the streets paved with gold? Have you guys read the book that I've read? Does it says the streets are paved with gold? Is that true? Or do we just say that as Christians? Brian Sorrell, you're a student of the Bible. Are the streets paved with gold? You know,
Absolutely.
they're paved with gold, right?
Yeah.
So if we have a Father in heaven that loves us unconditionally and loves us all the same, I mean, I don't know what gold is going for an ounce, but this thing is teaching me a lot about gold. I never knew about gold until I'm reading this book, right? Anyway, but it's going for a lot, an ounce. And if all of the streets in heaven are paved with gold, do you think our daddy in heaven has some wealth?
Mhm.
So I had this revelation one day, like if the streets are really paved with gold, what's $1 billion on earth? Not that much. I literally had that thought walking around the house one day. I mean, this is how my mind works. And you know what I call that? How many of you have heard my teaching when I talk about subconscious, conscious, and superconscious? So
Mhm.
which one of those is that thought that I had when I'm walking around my house saying,
Super conscious.
thank you. It's a super conscious thought. That means it's kind of a divine thought. Like it came like, I mean, I'm not just walking around like it like came into me, my head. And it said, you know, the heaven is the streets are paved with gold. What's $1 million on earth? What's $1 billion on earth? Not that much,
So
right?
sure.
Are you guys getting me? What I'm saying? So what happens is when you have those super conscious thoughts, I think my problem is I'm so mouthy about the super conscious thoughts. So when I have them, I say them out loud. Did you hear what I told my mom when she went into surgery? This is a super conscious thought. I said, Mom, you know what? It's so crazy that you broke that right hip. And now they're going to do surgery on your right leg. And that seems to be the leg that you seem to be stuttering around with. You know, that's the leg that's kind of difficult for you, where you kind of can't get it going, right? I said, maybe God had to break your hip to reset it so you can walk perfectly. And she just looked at me. She goes, maybe he did. I said, right? So now I got her on the frequency that I'm thinking of, the super conscious frequency. You get what I'm saying? The super conscious stuff is contagious, by the way, because it's so divine. You're attracted to it. You're like, oh, yeah. Or what should we say? Oh, you broke your hip and you're on your way out. You know how the world talks. Crap. They're crap magnets. I'm like, I think it broke, actually. I mean, you walked on it for 7 days. The doctor's never seen anything like that in 30 years. We showed videos of mom walking. He's like, how in the world was this woman walking with that fracture? In 30 years of being an orthopedic surgeon, I've never seen it. What are these patches all over her leg? I think she's walking because of the patches. Just saying, right? So this is where we're at in the the ER. The lady says to me, wow, your mom's skin is so young and beautiful. You look like you're 55. Mom's like, yeah, I'm not. I'm like, going to be 79 next week. And her skin is just perfect, And then the lady, we start talking and she goes, gosh, I like how you're talking. This nurse says this to me in the ER. She goes, I just can't get enough of how you're talking about health and all the stuff you're saying to your mom and your friend. Like you guys are just, she goes, I've kind of been wanting to get healthy and kind of get more into this natural stuff, like kind of like you guys are talking. And she goes, and my mom and my mother-in-law are both nurses, and they kind of talk like you with all this natural stuff that you're talking about. I'm like, 3 for 1 deal. Anyway, so this is me. Like, I mean, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like everywhere you go, from the ER to anywhere you go, everybody wants this patch, right? This is such an easy thing to talk about because I'm like, what do you know about stem cells? And then, should I tell you how you do it when you say it? You lean in and you kind of whisper it like it's a secret, because it is. What do you know about stem cells? Kind of get like that. Practice it once. Lean in, lean forward. When you're talking to someone, lean in. What do you know about stem cells? Okay. And when they say, I don't know much. Well, I found a way to activate it with light, with this little patch I have on. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard of this X39 thing? When you take the volume down and lean in and whisper, I'm just going to tell you, you kind of take them aside. I was taking the nurse aside up in my mom's room, and now I'm whispering, right? And he's like, really? I said, where are you from? He said, the Philippines. I said, how do you like living here? He's like, I love it. I said, you got friends from back at home and all over? He goes, I have friends from all around the world. I'm like, perfect, right? Like, this is how I'm talking. You guys, this whole thing is a setup. Anyway, the point is, when you start thinking unlimited, then you don't have any weird verbiage anymore. If you are sitting at home asking disempowering questions, guess what you're going to get? Disempowering answers. Crappy questions, crappy answers. There you go, friends. That's as simple as it gets. So you better start asking yourself high caliber, for super conscious for me is like, I don't even come up with this stuff. When I have a super conscious thought, I think to myself, where did that come from? So those thoughts that I have that come into me, like that moment when I was sitting there thinking, maybe she broke her hip because that was the dang hip that she had problems with. And maybe it got broken so that when it re-heals, the nerves can wire correctly. And she's going to be, that right leg is going to have no problem anymore. And then I just said it out loud because I had that thought, because I thought, wow, where'd that thought come from? Like, so when I have I think that's a gift I have. When I have a super conscious thought, I just say it out loud. Why not? I mean, are you going to hate me because I'm saying empowering things? Well, then I don't think it's my problem. I think it might be yours. Okay. So do you see what I'm saying? So we have to start functioning our lives at this higher frequency state. Are you guys getting this? What I'm saying? Okay. Say it out loud. My Father in heaven, streets are paved with gold. Pretty sure it's going to be easy to make $1 million on earth a year here. Right? Pretty sure. Million sounds easy actually at this point for me. Now I'm up leveling the game. Now I'm getting carried away. I'm a billionaire. Woo! Come on, billionaire. Right? And I'm going to tell you, it buys you options. Let me just say how it buys you options. So she said, do you want your mother in a swing bed? I said, I don't really want her in a swing bed because we're going to use patches, PMF. I have an arsenal of supplements. I've got a cold laser I'm going to use. And I don't want to have to get doctor's orders to come and bring that stuff to the swing bed. And I said, and the biggest healing modality of all that we need is her dog, Bella. That's the biggest healing frequency on the planet. And that little dog's over there at Lakewood, at her house. So we're going to have to get grandma back home so the dog can sit on her hip and heal it. Okay. And so this lady's like, well, insurances. I said, I need one of those things that PT used today when he helped her up to get her to go to the bathroom. I said, I need one of those. I said, can we rent that for the next 6 weeks? I'm going to need one of those. I said, can insurance cover that? She's got great insurance. I said, can we just get that? I said, this is what we have and this is what we need. And like I was going through and she goes, well, I can't promise you that it's going to cover everything you're asking for because when you go into the swing bed or the nursing home setting, that's where the insurance covers it all. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's $25,000 a month. And insurance is willing to cover it. I'm asking for a riser for the toilet for $29.99, boys. Okay. You're telling me you can't pay the $30 for the riser, but you're willing to take my mom over for $25,000. This is a botch job system. Don't get me started. I'm trying to stay on a high frequency here. Okay. Are you guys with me? The point is, and then I'm like, they're like, what does she have for a shower? And they're showing me this booklet. I'm like, okay, she needs that. Well, we're not sure if insurance is going to cover it. What is it? $300. You're going to pay for her $25,000 to go to the swing bed, but you can't pay the $300 thing so the woman doesn't fall in the shower? What's going on here? I walked out of the room. I'm like, what? Show me the money, God. I don't want my mom ever needing anything that we can't afford for her because I'm not relying on the system. You know what the woman told me? People, she said, I don't ever meet people like you. I said, you're right, you don't. I said, I'm special. God loves me. She goes, you know why I don't meet people like you? She said, you want to take your mom out of here back to her home and help with all this other stuff that you have going on, the supplements, the dog. She goes, do you know what most people say when I come in and have this talk with them? Yep, you're right. Just do whatever insurance will cover. That's what they say. And she said, and not only that, she said, it's, in fact, they just want to take their hands off the wheel completely. She said, I never meet people like you. And so anyway, this lady's like, she's like, I'm going to fight for insurance. I said, go fight for me. I said, because this is like peanut money. This is like totality of like $1,000 worth of stuff that insurance should cover that my mom shouldn't have to pay. Right, guys? So the point is, what I realized in a hurry, you better make so much money that you don't need the frickin' system. Guys, I say that really lovingly. Okay, we need it for crisis care. I can't screw the bones back together. Okay, but someone did send me something on Messenger that I thought maybe we shouldn't have done the surgery, but okay, it's done now. Okay, so we're just professing that mom is walking perfectly out of that surgery. Point being is that we need to have the finances to do the modalities of healing and treatment that we want to do. Would you guys agree? Are we at the mercy of this very disgruntled, broken system? You want to hear one more story about it? And then we'll end it on a positive note. When the doctor came in, we were sitting in the room and he said to me, he had a picture of a femur drawn and all this kind of stuff. and all this stuff. And he said, this is what we're going to do. And he's drawing a picture of how they're going to put this and that and the other thing and screws and bolts and things and all this kind of stuff. I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I said, I mean, I thought we were coming in to pin the hip together. I didn't know what was going on here. Like, you know, this surgery he showed me is like a 4-hour surgery. And he goes, well, when I looked at her x-rays from Hazen, I said, Hazen? I said, my mom's never had x-rays at Hazen. He goes, oh, I'm pretty sure I just looked at the x-rays from Hazen Medical Center, and this is the surgery that your mom's going to need with those x-rays. We've never been to Hazen Medical Center. I was at a center earlier today, right across the street, and they were supposed to send those x-rays over. So I don't know whose hip you're looking at, but it is not Pearl Rose Rhodes. We're going to need the appropriate hip x-ray so you can tell me what to do. I about cracked. The guy couldn't even look at me. He said, okay. And then what they did then is they ordered a whole nother set of x-rays. And at least, I mean, I didn't really want the radiation, but I'm like, at least we know for sure we got the right ones because we don't want the one from Hazen. Anyway, I mean, I could tell you 20 things like that. Let me just say, so thankful mom's moving and healing in the right direction. But at the end of the day, you do not want to be caught in the system. How about administering a medication to her this morning that was on her records from 17 years ago? Oh, did I just say that out loud? Oh, shoot. We got to get mom out of here, I said to my brothers today, okay? It gets crazier and crazier the longer you're in the setting, right? Again, great people, great nurses, and great doctors. The system as a whole is too much of a juggernaut. It's out of control, okay? So we got to get out of there. So you know what you need to get out of there and do the things that you want to do? Money. Nobody in the world could say money doesn't matter. That is such crazy language when people talk like that. They've never had an elderly person that they don't want in a swing bed, that they just want the highfalutin toilet and the chair and the shower, I guess. You know, I always think, I mean, anybody that says money doesn't matter, I'm like, I'm going to be a billionaire. Okay. And I'm okay with saying it now. And so you should get really good with saying, I am a millionaire, and walking around and saying, you know what? I have an unlimited Father in heaven. The streets are paved with gold. $1 million a year down here is nothing. This business is easy. Now, the final thing I want you guys to do is you need to have a little bit of a strategy. So I kind of gave you some principles for you to because this whole thing is self-reflection. Do you know that 98% of the population does not self-reflect? Do you know that only 2% do? And do you know that 2% are the multi-rich people of the world? I don't know. Do you think it's a correlation? I think the ones that are self-reflecting are making some changes, right? So now you realize I'm going to quit saying there's a level of difficulty to going senior presidential director. I'm going to stop talking like that because that language is actually holding me back because it's a frequency I'm putting out of my mouth. Okay, what else are you going to do? You don't need to listen to 17 more videos to get the nugget. You've got everything it takes already in you, especially if you've been here for longer than a month. How many Zoom meetings do you need to get on, right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't get on them because it builds belief, but I think it's go time, and it's go time right now. Because here's what's going to happen in the spring. Let There Be Light is going to be launched. That's the documentary with David Schmidt on Netflix with Mickey Willis, the pandemic guy. Then the world's going to know about LifeWave. The question is did you tell them about it? And will they come back to you and say, oh my gosh, I just saw this documentary on Netflix and it's about that patch that you told me about? Or will you just let the neighborhood go awry and everybody else is going to know about it and hear about it from everybody else because you're not willing to open your mouth and share because you care? Are you guys with me on this? It's powerful. Decide to do it. You have to decide to do it. You have to decide that you want to win the trips. You have to decide that you want to earn $1 million. You have to decide that you want a large team of 1,000 people. Quit griping about the 2 people calling you right now. You'll never get 4 doing that. Some of you, you sound like little chirps. Stop talking like that. How are you going to get to a team of 110,000 if you're still griping about the 4 you got? Take the call. Take the call. Take the call. Take the call. Let's go. Help these people. Serve these people. The biggest servant here wins. Did you know that? All right. What else did we say? Stop anchoring your revenue generation to time. That's a big thing for most of us. I had that most of my life. I had to let that go. I had to snip that one and say, the sky's the limit. The sky is the limit for how much money we can earn with our business, right? I had to literally, and now, like I told you, I said to Scott, do you think it's possible that we could make $1 million a day? Like, I'm thinking like that. I'm talking like that out loud. And you might think that's just wild. It is. But guess what's coming out of my mouth? It's a frequency. Guess who's listening? My cells. So now they're going to find and see and hear the goodness of God and the opportunities, right? So the final thing I want to say is the strategy is this. You need to look at this. And hopefully Scott texted me something that I asked him to text him. He's so good. Okay. Scott, did you text it to me? Let me see. I said, here's how you need to strategize. You need to look at your goals and you need to say this. I want to go senior director. Okay. So first there's manager. You sponsor 2 and 2. That's 4. Okay. That's easy. Again, sponsoring is easy. Say it with me. Sponsoring is easy. I sponsored 1,100 people. We'll sponsor 1,100 more. Well, everyone else is saying it's hard. The first thing I'm doing that's making it easy is I'm saying sponsoring is easy. All I do is sponsor. All we do is win. Okay. All we do is heal. All we do is win. All we do is earn. All we do is share. All we do is serve. Get it, guys? See the frequency? You got to get to this frequency. So the bottom line is 4. The next goal, 6, 3 and 3, right? That's director. And you help one on each of those legs go manager. I'm not sitting around begging, nigging, or dragging. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Are you in? Are you ready to do it with me? Some of you are spending too much time on just those 2 people trying to get them. I'm going to go sponsor 6 more that really wants it. I'll still help those 2 on their journey, but I'm not going to sit there and hold my breath while they try to go get their 4. I'm going to go get 6 more people. Why? Because everybody's going to know about LifeWave once that documentary comes out. Senior director. How many points is it? Who knows how many points it is? Put it in the comments. How many points is it?
30,000.
Is it 30,000? Senior director?
10,000.
So,
What is it?
oh, 10,000. Okay.
I'm like, you're shooting for the moon. T. It's 10,000. Okay.
Let's just
So-
get 30 and then it's
Just
10
get
is
30.
easy.
Just blow by the 10 and then who gives a rip? Right. You're right. So just keep that 30 in your mind. But my point is I was going to have you do a little strategy and take the 10,000 and how much are each of the kits worth? Do you guys know who knows what the premium pack's worth? The advanced and the core. Do you guys know the PV on any of that? Who knows it? Anybody know it? Someone pull up.
745, 300, and 180.
Okay. I'm hopping on. I got to get on another call because there's the next people coming in that are going to sponsor 100 millionaires this year that I got to hop on another call. My point is you take those math right there, what I'm telling you. And what do? You divide that by the 10,000. And that's going to tell you how many packs you need. Now you don't have to go get all those packs yourself. You can divvy those packs up for your team, right? Let's say you've got 5 great leaders already, right? So you're not the only one going out and sponsoring those advanced packs. You get what I'm saying? Start dividing those points by the number of your teammates that are working. And when another teammates come in, guess what? It just went down again because they want to work. They want to share. They want to grow. They want to be a millionaire. Are you with me? I got to go. Hopefully this was valuable to you tonight. That's the strategy. You got the strategy at the end there? Don't miss that. May the Lord bless you, keep you and shine his face upon you and grant you favor all the days of your life and expand your territory globally. In Jesus' name, thank you for healing my mama's hip. And she's coming out stronger, faster, and better walking than before. We believe in you, Father in heaven. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for your healing. Amen. Have a great night, you guys. God bless.